We're back with the final review of the night. And this is one I've been wanting to talk about and, have a little discussion about some things here. Cradle of Filth just released on November 15th here in America the Mistressed. They call it Cruelty and the Beast Mistressed. But it's a remastered version of Cruelty and the Beast. And it sounds phenomenal. It's always been my favorite Cradle of Filth album. It was the first one I ever heard. But that's not why it's my favorite Cradle of Filth album. It's my favorite because I just love the Elizabeth Bathory story. And when Cradle of Filth kind of get old and kind of mess with like old history like that, it's really good. That's why the Gilles de Rais album is another one of my favorites. The Godspeed on the Devil's Thunder. That's another fantastic one, story-wise. And it's always sounded flat. There's always been something kind of flat about the way the album sounded. Even the band over the years have said it doesn't sound that good. Sarah Jezebel Diva even says that after she heard the mix, she ran out of the studio crying because she was like, I spent 20-something hours singing these songs and it sounds like my head is in a toilet bowl. And yeah, like her parts sound weird and low, just too low in the mix. The drums have the drums don't sound full. So this version was going to come out last year for the 20th anniversary, but there were some legal problems. There was somebody holding them back. And I guess they got that all sorted out because it came out this year. And man, it sounds fucking phenomenal. We were just playing a little bit of it. And I would probably notice the difference more because like I've said, it's my favorite Cradle album. And I've played Cruelty and the Beast out over the years, and
I heard some songs.
Yeah, like we're familiar. We're all familiar with them. Definitely Josh too.
I've definitely heard songs off of this album.
But I mean, damn. And what's awesome is they said they didn't re-record anything. It's all the original tracks, all the original audio, just remixed. And me listening.
It's amazing that you still have the
version I got.
No.
What?
It's amazing that they still have the master tapes.
Right.
Like not many bands still have the master tapes.
Yeah. Because especially if you were part of Universal.
I feel like the other one was racier.
They kind of darken the. I like the way they kind of make it unique. They kind of darken the.
Like I feel like you got to see more boob. Or whatever. You got to see more of the chick on here.
Yeah, they have naked ladies all over their stuff nowadays.
But like this one, I feel like you got to see more of her body, the toe.
Yeah, because there's two different covers. I think that's the original cover. The other cover is from the double disc re-release that everyone...
Way over there.
The one that everyone has. Well, no, that is the same. Sort of.
It's zoomed in, and it's not the same. Because her face is different.
Yeah, she's got her eyes closed, and it's the same pose, though.
Not exactly. Not exactly the same. Her, especially where the Cradle of Filth logo is placed, it's higher up.
It's a new picture. It's a new picture.
Or it's redesigned.
Well,
it's from the picture.
It's from the same.
Yeah, it's from the same photo session.
Yeah.
But they redesigned
But
it.
so a couple years ago they did the Dusk and Her Embrace Original Sin, where they released the original recordings before they went into all those legal battles with Cacophonous, and had to scrap the album. The band quit on him, and he had to re-record it. And that one's almost a completely different album. But and it was cool
Yeah,
as shit.
I like that. How it's the exact same thing.
Yeah, and it was
Except for the placement of this.
yeah, and it was
Still,
cool
same
as shit to get that piece of Cradle, that sort of missing link of Cradle of Filth history. And this right here is almost, this is Cruelty and the Beast, their third album, in basically the way it's meant to be heard. This is a phenomenal remaster. And that doesn't always happen. A lot of times when you get remasters, shit gets fucked up, which we're about to talk about. But right now I'm going to say the bass sounds really good. The drums, probably out of everything, the drums sound the best. I'm hearing cymbal hits and drum hits that aren't in the original mix, or if they are, they're turned real down. Like the drums sound phenomenal. The bass sounds phenomenal. Sarah sounds a lot better than she did before. It's a fantastic remix.
I like that.
Yeah.
3 pictures.
Yeah, definitely. It's a fantastic remix of my favorite Cradle of Filth album, and I mean that's really all I can say. It's worth checking out if you're a Cradle fan.
If you like this, you get bonus pictures.
Yeah, basically. But definitely worth checking out. Fucking but with 10 out of 10 remix wise. To me, it's already a 10 fucking album.
Yeah.
But now it sounds even better.
Just the original album remastered.
Yeah, just sound, everything's turned up just a little
Nothing
bit, but
more,
not,
nothing less.
Yeah, but like it's nothing's compressed. Like everything's leveled perfectly. It's great. But when you get to some remasters, like take for instance some Ozzy Osbourne remasters that we hear about, where they like replace the drums and the bass.
The bass.
And then Frank Zappa did that shit too, where he literally fucked up the Benny, the Reuben and the Jets album. And I mean, what's the deal with remasters? Because even like the Haken albums I have are remasters. At least for the first 2 albums I have are remasters, and people were complaining, oh, it's just compressed, it loses a lot of its atmosphere and nuances. And so I haven't heard the original versions. I'm used to these apparently highly compressed versions, and they sound good to me. But what's the deal with that, man? Like, I mean, I can think of many remasters that I have because some of the original, like let's say some original 80s CDs that I own, right, that we own, fucking, they're quiet. They're real quiet. You gotta turn your shit up real loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got some CDs like that.
Yeah, and it's like, damn, I would like this to be a little louder.
The Kinks with Lola.
Yeah.
I gotta turn that shit up to hear it.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
And it's crazy.
Some Beatles I gotta turn them all the way up.
I believe it.
Because I do have a lot of Beatles that came out.
Some Pink Floyd I have. I gotta turn up a little high. The Led Zeppelin that I have.
All the CDs you got that came out in the 80s.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much the original CDs that came out. If they didn't come out in the 90s or the 2000s.
It's weird. It's weird. And then there are people, there's amongst collectors, a lot of people don't know this, but there are certain CDs they call the Target discs, which were some of the first CDs manufactured, and they say those sound the best out of the original CD presses because they went by the original tapes or whatever. I don't know, but they're not all that expensive if you find them, because not a lot of people know about the significance. But what is up with that? Like, I have some Rush remasters that sound really good. It's weird. Why? But when you take certain things that you remaster, like everybody's taking these old movies and putting them on Blu-ray and then the 4K. Certain old horror movies, like real cheap horror movies, were made because they knew the VHS was going to look shitty. the darkness and all that, and the grain, the film grain could hide certain imperfections from the effects. Well, once they started putting some of this shit on Blu-ray and DVD and the 4K now, like, you're starting to see all these imperfections that you never saw before. So it's weird. Sometimes you can remaster something and it will be
blows.
Yeah, it will be amazing.
Well, you can't do that to movies because you can't add pixels where they didn't exist.
Yeah.
5 out of 10.
I guess this motherfucker's too drunk. He about to be out of here. But that's really what I wanted to say.
Kind of
wanted to bring up this this whole remaster thing. I want to kind of like turn this into a discussion, you guys. But the Cradle of Filth remaster is phenomenal. Many of the Frank Zappa remasters are phenomenal. Some of them, for some reason, they decided to keep the Zappa fucked up versions. You know, some people, there are many different remasters of Pink Floyd. A lot of people, most of my Pink Floyd albums are, I believe, the early 90s remasters, and they sound phenomenal, and a lot of people apparently agree. But I do have one, my copy of Metal is the 2011 remaster, and it sounds good, but I haven't heard any other version of that album. And a lot of people are saying, oh, the 2011 ones sound better. Then other people are like, oh, the 94 ones sound better. So, I mean, it's weird. I guess it just depends on your ear. But where do you guys stand on certain remasters? Because think about it. Every 10 years, they're going to remaster something. They might even remaster the same album every 10 years. And then, you know, in a couple years, boom, whole discography, like they did with the Zappa in 2012. You know, throw some ideas in the comments. Do you like remasters? Which are your favorite versions of certain old CDs? Because this is like one of the first times in my lifetime that an album that came out during our generation has really been remastered. Like the stuff that our parents grew up on, that was only on vinyl and then put on CD. This is one of the first that I can think of from our generation. I mean, the album came out in '98, so and it sounds phenomenal. So if you're an older guy and you were there, what did you like? Because I have the original vinyl copy of Close to the Edge by Yes, and I have the 2003 remaster on CD. And the CD version sounds great, but when I listened to the vinyl, the original vinyl, there were musical notes and things that I had never heard before in that remaster. So I'm like, did you guys take some things out? What's going on here? I've never heard this part before. I know that album like the back of my hand. Really, really crazy stuff. To me, I don't like it when somebody, like, take for instance when Frank Zappa fucked up some of his albums, and when the Ozzy replaced the bass on those albums. Don't ruin the original artistic credibility of the album. That to me is what I hate the most. If you're gonna remix and remaster something, you gotta make it sound as good as it can. Don't try to replace instruments. You know, Frank Zappa really George Lucas the fuck out of some of his albums, and apparently Ozzy did too. But apparently they did some remasters where it went back to the other ones. So what my thing is too is, especially when it came to me buying all that Zappa last year, was certain artists who have been around or their shit's that old. Like, you have to really do some research on the versions you want to get if you want the best version possible. So it's like, if I were to go out and buy all the Ozzy CDs, I'm going to have to be like, which fucking year? Which ones do I need to fucking get? So it's weird like that. Really weird fucking shit. You know, don't fucking screw with the original artistic credibility of the album. That's really what I'm saying. Don't fucking change things. Make them sound better, you know, maybe move the faders up a little bit, who knows. But what do you guys think about the whole remaster and remix technology or thing, you know? And just throw it in the comments, and then we'll see you guys. Definitely, if you're a Cradle of Filth fan, man, that Cruelty and the Beast remaster is phenomenal. We'll see you guys later.